Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq, coming to you live from the Singapore Fintech Festival. Joining us for this segment, we have Ashok Ventakteswaran. He is the Vice President and APAC Head of Digital Assets and Blockchain at Mastercard. He joins me to discuss mainstream adoption and security of digital assets. Ashok, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Great, thanks for inviting me. I'm glad to be here.
All right, you got it. And what opportunities does Mastercard see in blockchain technology, and how is it invested in these opportunities?
I mean, it's kind of evolving, right? We started doing this around 5 years ago. Initially, basically helping people on-ramp and off-ramping their assets from a digital wallet into the mainstream spending. We did that by basically allowing people to use their cards to spend their crypto assets. Now we accept stablecoins on our network. We've got security features that we've added in ways of identifying who you're sending money to and who you're getting money from. So we're heavily invested in the space, and we continue to kind of evolve and build new products in the space.
Mastercard recently announced its multi-token network.
Yep.
What are the use cases for payments backed by blockchain technologies?
So the multi-token network is a solution we're building for our banking partners. It allows the banks to tokenize their assets directly on the Mastercard network and then use the tokenized assets to spend, right? So the use cases we currently have available are basic DVP or delivery versus payment solutions. We've got some escrow type solutions on there. And we've got some trade financing type of solutions on there. Now, it is still in pilot phase, and we continue to work with our banking partners to identify more use cases and add more applications on a regular basis that people are asking for. So initially we did it in the UK. We're bringing it out to Asia over the first half of next year, and we are looking for application partners to really help us build out this network.
What do you think is holding back mainstream adoption of digital asset payments?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's holding back. I mean, obviously last year we had a little bit of a hiccup with the price of cryptos falling. So people really associate the price of crypto sometimes with the development of blockchain technology, right? So what we are really focused on is the underlying technology. Now, I think people are getting a lot more comfortable in using this blockchain technology and digital assets, not only for payments, but also other things, right? So as earlier today, MAS announced a number of initiatives around stablecoins. So we see digital assets as a whole, not just about crypto, but also in ways of stablecoins, CBDCs, tokenized deposits. Now, there is an increased comfort level of using these assets as more regulations come into place, more infrastructure comes into place, and more importantly, more security gets put in place. So it is evolving, it is changing and growing, and it is continuing to do that.
Security is a critical concern increasingly in the digital landscape. How does Mastercard ensure the security of digital currency transactions?
So we have always maintained being a point of trust, right? Even in fiat transactions today, we are a point of trust. So if you use your Mastercard today to go buy something, you're assured that the payment is made, and if you want to return something, that you get a refund, right? So we've got the rules and network rules, franchise rules, all of these things are in place already. And we're going to try and make them more available in the digital asset world. In addition, we recently acquired a company called CipherTrace, which is a transaction monitoring tool specifically for digital assets. And we're building a number of technologies around it to make the transactions safer, right? So you know clearly who you're sending money to, who you're receiving money from, where those assets have been in the past, so that we are not touching any kind of sanctioned money or the sanctioned wallets. And we continue to build solutions on the security space because people see Mastercard as a source of trust, and we want to maintain that position.
If you had a crystal ball, right, if you could look out, when do you think we may see mainstream adoption or more comfort with being able to use digital asset payments?
Well, I mean, it depends what you really mean by mainstream, right? I mean, if you look at it today, a lot of people are using digital assets. Like if you go a couple of booths over to your left here, there's a company which is actually allowing you to buy coffee using XSDD, which is the Singapore dollar stablecoin, right? So mainstream meaning, people are beginning to use it, people are beginning to hold it. As people feel more safe, the fact that the value of the asset is not going to change, people will continue to hold it and use it, right? It may not be next year, but we are seeing a lot more people in the space, and we're seeing a lot of newer people in the space. In the past, you usually associated digital assets with younger generation or gaming world, but now you see a wider audience actually using these assets for investment purposes, for diversifying their investments, for using for day-to-day purchases.
It seems as if it's very regional, right? You see the adoption here, it's somewhat mainstream here.
Yep.
Even if you cover a conference in Singapore versus one in North America, it's a very different kind of conversation that you're having.
Right, of course.
Local economies are being built on this. It exists here. So it seems as if the regional adoption is faster in other areas of the world than others.
Well, I think regulation has a big thing to
Right.
play with it. Obviously, there are regulations in the U.S. Which are, I wouldn't say stunting, but they are a little bit more difficult to kind of get things done. We find that European regulations, APAC regulations, the regulators are a lot more open to innovation and ideas. But we as Mastercard are a network, and we continue to be focused on that space. So depending on how people want to use their digital currencies, we are available to do so. But the other point is that we find that the Asian economies are your younger population, more connected, more used to using different types of currencies. And then on the other side of it, you've got countries which are not so mature, where you may not have a very mature banking infrastructure. And you can use digital currencies to kind of bridge that gap very easily. Right? So you see both sides in this case, some mature markets in Asia versus some markets which are still trying to find themselves. So as a result, adoption rate will change and will continue to grow.
All right, Ashok, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for joining me from Singapore. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.